Hello everyone, I am Pratap here. We are at lesson 24. This is about zone confluence strategy. And this strategy is having a dependency on understanding the earlier concepts, especially the concept zone confluence you learned from lesson 16 and also some of the earlier concepts. So this is the reason why if this is your first visit and learning this concept, I request you complete the earlier lessons because we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. All the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel, you click on this community tab, you will get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. Not only from here, in this YouTube video description also we have provided the link. From there also if you click the link, we will get into the playlist supply demand zone price action course. I'm clicking on this link. Now we are at supply demand zone price action course playlist. Here you have all the training lessons are available. Please scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here you have starting from lesson 1.1. All the training lessons are available in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and then you can get into lesson 24. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this YouTube video description. So from the description, please join in the Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Each time when we release a new YouTube video, we will provide an update in that, or any other important updates also we will provide at the channel. Now let's get into the lesson number 24. It is about zone confluence strategy. So we already learned the concept zone confluence in lesson 16. So that's why I'm not getting into those details. So you need to complete that lesson. But you know, lower time frame zone is overlapped with higher time frame zone, that is called zone confluence. That is what you learned with in detail with examples. But what about the strategy? For defining this zone confluence strategy, we use higher time frame, that is HTF, intermediate time frame, that is ITF, and also lower time frame, that is LTF. All the three zones we will be using. That is HTF zone, ITF zone and LTF zone. If all the three zones are having a zone confluence, we can define this strategy. And we have another rule is also there. You can also define a zone confluence strategy only by using a ITF zone and LTF zone. You can ignore HTF zone. Even by using ITF and LTF also, you can define the zone confluence strategy. Okay, let us try to understand these strategies with some important points. This strategy is built based on the points. ITF zone might be having strong order flow compared to the LTF zone, because LTF zone is a lower time frame. So always higher time frame order flows are much stronger compared to lower time frame zone in general. It need not be always, but most of the times. You have seen some lower time frame zones, especially high liquidity zones or bull traps and bear traps. Such kind of zones will be having strong order flows. If you forget about those important zones, but in general, ITF zone might be having stronger order flow compared to the lower time frame zone. And also, HTF zone might be having even more stronger order flow compared to the ITF zone and LTF zone. So this is what you already learned and also you understood in all these days in your trading. And also you should understand the chances of reaching the LTF zone target. I'm talking about LTF zone target. From HTF and high TF entry zone is much higher. Assume your entry zone is HTF zone, but target zone is only LTF zone. Or your entry up zone is ITF zone, but your target zone is only LTF zone. So from HTF to LTF zone reaching the target is much possible scenario. Generally, from LTF zone entry, the target will be LTF zone, target zone. LTF to LTF. This is in common situation. Sometimes what will happen, from LTF we get the entry, prices will reach the LTF target zone. Sometimes what will happen, prices reaches the LTF entry, but they will not reach the target zone. Instead of that, the LTF zone will be violated. We will see some 50-50 such kind of scenarios, 50-50% probability. 50% success rate will be there, 50% failure rate will be there. That way you might be seeing the probability chances. But entry zone is ITF zone, but target is only LTF. In such kind of situation, the probability is much higher. And also entry is HTF zone, but your target is only LTF zone. Probability is even more. That is what we have discussed here. The chances of reaching the LTF zone target from HTF or ITF entry zone is higher. Okay. You may ask a question, how can we take an entry directly from HTF? The risk is very high. Or how can we take an entry from ITF? The risk is very high, even though the target is LTF. Yes, your question is valid. But what we do, we define LTF zone inside the ITF zone, or we define the LTF zone inside the HTF zone by using the concept zone confluence. By applying this mechanism, even though the main zone is HTF zone or ITF zone, but we do zone confluence and we define LTF inside the LTF fine-tuned zone. There you take the entry and we define the target as a LTF zone. That way we plan. Generally what people will do, they don't bother. The LTF entry zone is inside the ITF zone or outside the ITF zone. They won't bother. Okay, it reached the LTF zone. So they take a blind trade. And many times those LTF zones will be violated. And you might be wondering, because we have taken in a demand zone entry, why the zone is failed? What happened to the institutional pending order? Such kind of questions will arise in our mind. But every demand zone may not be a good zone for taking the trade. There are some special demand zones that you need to identify and make sure there is a good order flow will be there, institutional order flow. And such kind of zones are the LTF zones having confluence with ITF zone, or LTF zone is having confluence with HTF zone. So such kind of LTF zones will be having higher success rate. So this is the reason why some people trade only based on zone confluence. They won't trade at all if the zones are outside the ITF zone or outside the HTF zone. This is the reason why we are learning this zone confluence strategy concept. So let us look into this strategy in detail. So in general, LTF zone having confluence with ITF zone might be having strong order flow compared to the LTF zone which is outside the ITF zone. That means we are comparing two types of LTF zones. One type of LTF zone is having confluence with ITF zone. Second type of LTF zone is not having any confluence with ITF zone or even HTF zone. They are purely outside the ITF zone or purely outside the HTF zone. That means the LTF zone is completely independent, which is not having any confluence with any other higher time frame zones. Such kind of LTF zone success rate is very low unless it is a high liquidity zone. But in general, those LTF zones will be having less success rate. I am not saying you won't get success. You will get success. but success rate is low. When you are not aware whether really that gives a profit or not, better don't touch that zone. But what you know, the LTF zone having confluence with ITF zone might be having strong order flow. So better to take a trade in such kind of zones. So this is the reason why some of the supply demand zone traders, they trade only based on the zone confluence. They never take the LTF zones if it is not having a confluence with the ITF zone. And in this combination, having bullish or bearish trade setup might be having even more higher success rate. Zone confluence, that means my LTF zone is having confluence with ITF zone, plus currently the trend is uptrend, ITF trend is uptrend and supporting bullish trade setup, or if it is a short trade, it is supporting bearish trade setup. Such kind of combination is many people call it as a deadly combination. That means excellent combination. So in such kind of situation, bullish and bearish trade setups with lower time frame zone having confluence with the intermediate time frame will be having higher success rate. Because I have seen some people say, today I took a trade in the bullish trade setup or bearish trade setup, the zone is violated, stopped out. What could be the reason? Because sometimes in bullish trade setup, LTF zones will be violated. But still trend is uptrend only. The reason is ITF trend is not changed. Between the ITF zones, there could be multiple LTF zones. If one of the LTF zone is violated, the trend won't be changed. The next LTF zone probably will give you a success. Or in the best scenario, the LTF zone having confluence with ITF zone will always give higher success. Look into this example. Here we have a ITF demand zone. Inside this ITF demand zone, LTF zone is overlapped. So we have a LTF zone. Maybe it might be there inside, or it might be overlapped with the proximal line, or it might be overlapped with the distal line, whatever it is. The zone confluence will be there. In such kind of situation, the success rate is very high. Taking the trade from this overlapped LTF demand zone will give you a good success rate compared to the LTF zone if it is there outside this high ITF zone. Let us assume this LTF zone is outside. Its success rate is less compared to this scenario, what you are seeing on the screen. And also let us assume here we have a LTF supply zone which is a target zone. Because this LTF zone is inside the ITF zone, if prices entered into this zone, there is a higher success rate that the pending orders in this LTF demand zone, because it is associated with the ITF demand zone, which indicates order flow is much stronger, there are higher chances it will push the prices up and prices will be definitely reaching into LTF supply zone. Maybe definitely reaching is not a right statement, but there is a higher success rate compared to the scenario. This LTF demand zone is outside the ITF demand zone. See, this LTF demand zone, outside demand zone also will work. There is no doubt in that. But this scenario, if you find two stocks, one stock you have a LTF demand zone inside ITF demand zone, you have another stock LTF demand zone which is outside the ITF demand zone. If you compare both, this scenario might be having higher success rate. This is what I mean to say. Okay, now because the success rate is very high, there are higher chances prices reaches to this LTF target zone. Because mostly we take our entry LTF only. Target is also LTF zone only. But the concept here is this LTF zone is having a confluence with ITF zone. And this scenario, bullish and bearish trade setup will give you good success rate. in such kind of scenario. If ITF trend is down, again it is doubtful whether it may work, it may not work, because we are trading against the trend. I'm always talking about taking the trades in favor of the trend. This combination will fail only during the trend shift, because that you never know when trends will be shifted. Trends won't shift every time just like that, but there are times, and at that time our zone will be violated. LTF zone will be, instead of reaching the target, prices will go down and this zone will be violated, and after that this ITF demand zone also will be violated. That way the trend will be changed, uptrend will be changed to sideways. In such kind of situations, these kind of trades will be violated. And such kind of trend shifts you may not be seeing regularly. Maybe with lower time frames you may see quite frequently, like 15 minutes, 5 minutes. But the time you move on to 75 minutes, such kind of trend shifts you see rarely, not regularly. But whatever it is, as long as the trend is maintained, this is a good combination. But the day the trend shift takes place, your plan will be disturbed. That way you have to accept your stop loss. But overall success rate is high in this combination. Every time prices reaches to this ITF zone, they won't be violated. From here, again prices will start moving up. Rarely you see, that day you need to accept. But until that scenario occurs, you will be enjoying the profits. So that is what I specified here. This combination will fail only during the trend shift. And the next category in the zone confluence strategy. Whatever so far you have seen one scenario, you have second scenario. In general, LTF zone having confluence with ITF zone and HTF zone. That means LTF zone is inside the ITF zone and ITF zone is inside the HTF zone. It need not be inside, it can overlap. I'm just telling you to make you understand easily. So that means LTF is overlapped with ITF and ITF is overlapped with HTF. That means we are talking about the HTF zones. So in general, LTF zone having confluence with ITF and HTF zone might be having strong order flow compared to the LTF zone confluence with ITF zone or LTF zone outside the HTF zone. In either cases, comparing with in either cases, this combination, that means LTF, ITF and HTF, all the three are overlapped with each other. That zone, that kind of combination is a much powerful concept. That is what we are seeing in the high liquidity zones. Even normal zones also, this is a very good combination, but your trend should be supported. This combination with bullish or bearish trade setup might be having higher success rate. Sometimes you can also trade against the trend, but that is a counter trend trade setups and all. You are not aware of those concepts, so don't get into them at this stage. Once you get good experience, we will discuss them. So look into this scenario. We have a higher time frame demand zone, and this ITF demand zone having confluence with HTF. Both are overlapped. Again, inside the ITF, LTF is overlapped. That means this LTF zone, ITF zone, HTF zone, all are overlapped with each other. This is even more powerful concept, more powerful combination. Earlier we have seen only ITF and LTF are overlapped. Now we are seeing HTF, ITF and LTF, all the three are overlapped. Assume here we have a LTF supply zone. When prices reaches to this LTF zone, the order flow is much stronger. Why we are saying much stronger? Because here the zone confluence is taking place between three time frame zones. So obviously institutions will keep more strong order flow here. So in that case, there are higher chances the prices will reach here. Of course, the trend should be supported. If trend is not supported, we don't know how this combination will react. Sometimes it will reach the target, sometimes it will reach even more lower time frames and again came down. Sometimes institutions create a new supply zone here and again they push the prices and this entire HTF demand zone will be violated. Trend shift. That is a trend shift scenario. They create a new supply zone here and then again push with strong order flow. Those scenarios also you will see rarely. So that is a rare situation. That is what trend shift scenarios that we already explained earlier. Except that prices will move up. So this is the reason why this is another good combination. The point I already explained to you. Mostly ITF trend change. Maybe let me give you a detailed explanation. Sometimes what happens, prices will be reaching to this HTF demand zone. For bringing the clarity, time being, I'm showing you only HTF demand zone. Let us assume somewhere in the top here, HTF supply zone is there. From HTF supply zone, prices are reaching to HTF demand zone. In between, there could be some ITF zones will be there. Those ITF zones will be here somewhere, some ITF demand zone will be there, and when prices are moving down, this ITF demand zone is violated. Now uptrend will be changed to sideways. If there is a second ITF demand zone is also there, if that is also violates, now sideways will be changed to downtrend. Generally, such kind of things will take place when prices are moving from HTF supply zone to HTF demand zone. In such kind of situation, even though the combination is a zone confluence, the risk is very high because the trend is, ITF trend is not uptrend. In such kind of situation, whether to take a trade or not, we have other advanced concepts like counter trend trading. But don't get into them at this point of time. Focus completely on the zones in favor of the trend. When such kind of, when we won't be having a supply zone here, when it is a strong, bullish trade setup, say for example, a new demand zone is created. While creating here, inside a ITF demand zone is created and also inside LTF demand zone is created. Prices moved up and no ITF zones are created here. No ITF demand zones are created. Prices moved from here to some extent. Again coming down. While coming down, because there are no ITF demand zones, so obviously there is no zone violation. That means trend won't be changed. Now prices come to this fine-tuned area. Definitely you take a trade. The reason is trend is not changed. Still trend is supporting your uptrend because it is a strong market, is a bullish. It will pick up the orders and again prices will move and it will reach the higher high. Whatever the pivot is here, the pivot will be violated and further it will go up. In such kind of combination, you will get even more profits. This kind of things you will see when new demand zones are created. Because sometimes I am showing you in your reports, I don't know how many of you monthly and weekly, at the end of the month, end of the week, I am giving you weekly reports and monthly reports. Detailed report. At the time I am also showing you newly created zones. In such kind of newly created zones with uptrend, you will see such kind of combinations. Why I am showing you those? Because I want you people to, because now you are learning. Okay, all these days you may not be knowing why I am showing you those reports. Now you are learning, you will understand. You will look into this newly created zone, HTF zone. Let us assume HTF zone is a weekly zone. So you will look into the weekly. Then you will see inside weekly any daily zone is there. That means any daily is overlapped. Again within the daily any 75 minute zone is overlapped. You will see. If any such kind of combination is there, you will keep that particular stock in our watch list. After few days, prices moved up. Again they retrace it back, and when they get into that overlapped area, next time you see a very big move from here, because currently market is a trending market, and prices, because of profit booking or correction in the market, prices reach to this fine-tuned area. Because of that, your ITF trend is not changed. When ITF trend will be changed, this ITF zone is violated, then ITF trend will change. But such kind of combination, the chances of violation is less, because it is a newly created zone and trend is in your favor. By the time prices reaches, you are within the trend, and moreover this is a deadly combination, that is LTF is overlapped with ITF, ITF is overlapped with HTF, all the three zones are overlapped with each other. Definitely this indicates a strong institutional order flow. When you take a trade, definitely you will get a good profit. So this is the way you have to make use of the reports. Weekly reports I am providing. In weekly reports I am displaying you all these combinations. Stocks near demand and supply zones, price closed inside demand and supply zones, and also I am showing you newly created demand and supply zones, the weekly zones. So this is the way you prepare and you analyze. If you find any such kind of zones, you will keep them in your watch list. If by any chance if there is a retracement in the coming days, it is a good trading opportunity for you. Many times we miss such kind of opportunities just because of our ignorance. That means we are missing good trading opportunities. So please remember this point always. Hope you understand the importance of this concept now. So this is the point what I explained. When prices are reaching from a higher time frame supply zone to the demand zone, or vice versa, whatever it is. What happens, by the time they reach the demand zone, the ITF zones will be violated and trend will be changed. Mostly ITF trend will change against our trade by the time prices reaches to the LTF zone having confluence with ITF and HTF zone. In such kind of situations, better think twice before taking the trades, because there are concepts like confirmation trading and all. You need to wait, you need to confirm prices are again changed the direction. At the time only you need to plan it, rather than taking the trade in the zone confluence LTF zone. You need to wait for some time. But why I shown you this point is, there is an interesting point now. HLQ zone, suppose if this HTF zone is a high liquidity zone, I am talking about HTF zone, because prices reached HTF zone. In that fine-tuned area the prices reached. If that HTF zone is a high liquidity zone, the success rate will be much better. So HQL zone, high liquidity zone, HLQ zone, high liquidity zone, as a HTF zone might give us better success rate in this scenario. What is that scenario? The zone confluence, LTF zone confluence with both ITF and HTF. In that scenario, if your HTF zone is a high liquidity zone, your success rate will be having much better chances. Better success rate in this scenario. Even against the ITF trend. I am talking about even against the ITF trend. If it is in favor of the trend, it is this combination is even more even more success rate will be there in this combination, even if trend supports. But I am talking about against the trend, ITF trend. If it is not HQL, high liquidity zone, don't take risk taking trades, because the trend is against. If the HTF zone is a high liquidity zone, sometimes the high liquidity zones also will be violated. You should accept the fact. But at least the success rate is more compared to the earlier scenario. That is the trading against the trend. Or sometimes maybe in such kind of scenarios you can take a trade after reaching 1:3. Instead of before reaching the target zone, maybe you may exit after reaching 1:2.5 or 1:3 RR. You can exit. Okay, anyway, these are all a few additional tips for you. Now let us look into NeoStock scan reports, how we can identify, because so far I haven't shown you such kind of strategy and how we can scan. Now let me show you. Okay. Here, for example, what I do, let me generate 15-minute zones, and entry zone, let me say demand zone, because I am going to implement zone confluence on demand zones. That means 15 minutes demand zone should have confluence with 75 minutes, because ITF is 75, HTF is daily. Let us identify 15-minute zones having entry zone is 15 minutes. That's why I have selected entry time frame 15. But 15-minute zone should have confluence with 75-minute zone. 75-minute zone should have confluence with daily zone. So where we can define this rule? I am not adding any other filters. So here we have a demand zone confluence, supply zone confluence, filters are there in our software. Okay, so let's look into this scenario. So 15-minute zone. So here 15 minutes demand zone with 75, confluence should be there. The confluence should be yes. Yes means confluence should accept, or otherwise the confluence is there or doesn't there, the filter won't just ignore that. The moment you say yes, it is looking for 75 minutes demand zone having 15 minutes demand zone combination. Okay, and next one is 15 minutes. 15 minutes should also have confluence with daily zone. Here we have 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence we want. So yes, yes means we want the combination. Not only that, 75 minutes also should be having confluence with daily zone, because all the three should be have. 75 is our intermediate time frame, daily is our higher time frame. They should also have combination. So I have selected three filters. What is that? First filter is 15 minutes demand zone should have confluence with 75 minutes. Second filter, 15 minutes demand zone is having confluence with daily demand zone. And the third filter, 75 minutes demand zone is also having confluence with the daily demand zone. If all the three filters, I want to filter the stocks. So now 15 stocks are filtered. Now all these 15 stocks are having confluence with each other. Now you can look for trend also. We want bullish trade setup from here. Look into this. L&T, Mindtree. L&T Mindtree is having a combination as a uptrend, HTF trend as uptrend, ITF trend as uptrend. LTF trend we need not ignore. Even if it is sideways or even if it is down, we need not bother, because our main trend is uptrend. But there is a zone confluence. That means prices will be entering into HTF, ITF and LTF. So let us check whether really it is there or not, because we have selected the demand zone, entry zone as demand zone. See the demand zone confluence. This is a daily plus 75 combination is there, daily plus 15 minutes combination is there, and also 75 minutes plus 15 minutes combination is there. All the three are overlapped with each other. Okay, this is the filter we selected, zone confluence, demand zone this is the demand zone confluence we have selected. That is the point you should not forget. So when this zone is created, which time frame? 15 minutes. So L&T Mindtree, let me open the chart. First the time frame I need to set 15 minutes time frame. LTIM, L&T Mindtree. So this is the chart. And where is the 15 minutes demand zone? On 25th July 2024, at 14:45 is the leg in after the 2 base candles. Yeah, here. This is the leg in. 25th July 2024, 14:15 after the 2 base candles. Let me draw the zone. Let me give a light color. Okay, this is a 15 minutes demand zone. See, the time frame is 15. We have a rally, base, rally. This is what our software has identified. But our software internally analyzed this should have confluence with 75 and also daily. But those zones we don't have. So we need to find in this area whether there is any 75 minute zone. So I am changing the time frame to 75 minutes. Yes, there is a 75 minute zone. We have a leg candle here, leg in. We have 2 base candles and we have a rally candle. So let me draw a 75 minute zone. Let me give light color, compare it to the earlier one. See here, inside we have 15 minute zone and the current time frame is 75, we have 75. Both are overlapped with each other. And also we need to check in this area whether there is any daily zone is available. So I am changing the time frame to daily. See, we have a ERC candle. This can be used as a leg in. 2 base candles. This is a base candle. Next one, hidden gap is there. Even if we add, okay, this is a still small candle only because the gap is not significant. We can consider both as leg candles. Let me give even more light color. See here. This is the daily zone. Inside the daily we have a 75. Inside the 75 we have 15 minutes. Now let us do top down. Let us assume this is the daily. From daily we are going to 75 minutes. See here we have a 75 minutes. From 75 minutes we are going to 15 minutes. See here we have a 15 minute zone. So this zone is having higher trade probability setup. But for safety side, because in lesson 20 you already land. If 5 minute zone is also there, the chances are very high. So let us look into the 5 minutes if there is any 5 minutes. Yeah, here we have a 5 minute zone. So overlap. This 5 minute zone is overlapped, but overlapped at distal line of the 15 minute zone. This is overlapped at the distal line of 15 minute zone. We have a rally, 2 base candles and rally, but the thing is they already picked up the orders. Even if you go to type 2 proximal, and it picked up the orders and moved up. But still there could be a strong order flow here because this concept is what you learned in lesson 23, if I am not wrong. You have learned origin, lower time frame 5 minutes origin, which is responsible for the creation of 15 minutes origin. That way you may get trade opportunity, but this trade opportunity is only 5 minutes to 5 minutes only, not 15 minutes. 15 minutes order flow is not good because already picked up the orders and moved up from this zone. At least 5 minute zone you can plan. That is trade setup point of view. But forget about it. Think from the concept point of view. Maybe in this example it picked up the order. In some other example you may find a very clean 5 minute zone that confirms a strong order flow in this area. Because it is already picked up the orders earlier, we don't know how strong it is going to be. But while picked up, there was a very big move from here. That's why I'm assuming in this area we have a still strong order flow. Because we already learned the concept lower time frame as an horizon to the higher time frame. Anyway, let's don't get into those details. I don't want to confuse you. But look into the 15 minutes time frame point of view. Such kind of combinations are good combinations. That is what I'm trying to say. Let us assume there is a very good zone is there. So next time when prices are entering, you can plan a trade in this 15 minute zone. Provide your ITF trend is uptrend. Anyway, this stock ITF trend is uptrend, because you have already seen the trend ITF trend is uptrend, and HTF trend is also uptrend. This indicates it is a bullish trade setup. In bullish trade setup, HTF trend should be either uptrend or sideways, but ITF trend should always be uptrend. LTF trend can be anything. It can be sideways, it can be downtrend, or it can be uptrend. We don't care, because the main trend is ITF trend. This is only, HTF trend is only a supporting trend. That is what I explained you in lesson 13, 14, 15. In these 3 lessons I explained in the bullish and bearish trade setups. See, we have seen. This is an excellent. Also, let me show you, because we've been generating bullish and bearish trade setups every time. But this bullish and bearish trade setups with, zone confluence is a deadly combination. So far, we haven't used that concept. But you can find, because bullish trade setup stocks are there, it is your responsibility to check if there is any confluence is there. If the confluence is there, you can plan the trades. But software will save our time. So let me generate a DIT setup in daily. DIT 15 minutes time frame. Bullish trade setup, we need to select demand zone. And also in bullish or bearish trade setup, in 15 minutes time frame, we need to select the value bullish. And also 3 filters I always add. First filter, we don't want pierced zones. So that's why the pierced count here in this 15 minutes time frame, minimum value I am setting 0, maximum value I am setting 0, which indicates pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means the zone is not pierced. So that's why I am setting whichever the entry. Why I selected 15 minutes? Because that is the entry time frame. Here this is the entry time frame. And entry zone is demand zone. That means the filter is applied to this demand zone, 15 minutes demand zone. That means in 15 minutes demand zone, if the count is pierced count is 0, indicates the zone is not pierced. Only such kind of zones will be displayed in our report. And also I told you zone achievement should always be VOZ, violated opposing zone. Only zone achievement having VOZ are tradable zones. And also minimum odd enhancer score in bullish or bearish trade setup should be 12. If it is sideways setup, it is 11. But bullish or bearish trade setup, minimum value 12. 12 out of 15. It can be 12 or 13 or 14 or 15. So with these filters, we are generating bullish trade setup. How many stocks are filtered? 15 stocks. And in these 15 stocks, some stocks might be having zone confluence. Some stocks may not be having zone confluence. So you need to analyze all the 15 stocks to check whether zone confluence is there or not. 3 ways you can check zone confluence: HTF, ITF and LTF. Because anyway this is a bullish trade setup. HTF, only ITF and LTF also you can check. Because we have learned 2 strategies. One is combination of HTF, ITF, LTF, and another one is combination of ITF and LTF. So in this example, only ITF and LTF. My LTF zone should be having confluence with ITF zone. Only such kind of stocks I want to filter from this stock. Out of 15 stocks, let us check how many of, because all these are all LTF zones, how many of them are having confluence with ITF. So I am going back, adding the filter. Okay, in this filter, because bullish trade setup demand zones, so you need to set the filter here. So what is our 15 minute zone should have? 15 minutes demand zone should have confluence with 75 minutes demand zone. So S. Only this combination. I am not adding a HTF here. Only ITF. 75 minutes is ITF. 15 minutes is LTF. Both should have confluence. Only such kind of stocks I want to filter for bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Because we already set all these values. 15 minutes demand zone, zone confluence. Here in 15 minutes bullish. So now let me filter. See, now 15 stocks are reduced to 10 stocks. That means all these 10 stocks are having confluence with ITF. See, LTIM is also there. Actually, this is having confluence with HTF, ITF and LTF. All the 3 are having. So that's why it displayed, because ITF is also there, it displayed. Let me select one more stock. This is a high liquidity zone, Astral. See, this is a combination for ITF and LTF. HTF, I don't know, Astral is supported or not, but ITF and LTF, it is supported. Because that is what we added in our filter. Check the filter. Demand zone confluence is only 75 minutes zone and 15 minutes zone should be having the confluence. 75 minutes plus 15 minutes zones. And moreover, it is a high liquidity zone. Which one? 15 minutes is high liquidity, not higher time frame. But it is a bullish trade setup. So Astral, this is a 15 minutes time frame. Let us check when the zone is created. This is the 25th July, 14:30 hours after the two base candles. Yeah, here 14:30 we have a drop, we have two base candles and we have a rally candle. Drop, base, rally. Okay, this is a 15 minutes demand zone. Excuse me. We have a drop, base, rally. And this is a supporting, currently this is supporting bullish trade setup. And a 75 minute zone. Probably this is a rally. We have three base candles and again a rally candle here with pro gap. So this is the 75 minutes demand zone. Excellent. Let us check whether it is having any confluence with daily, even though we did not. Yeah, daily is also, we have a drop, base, rally. Drop with hidden body, if you add again a drop will come. So that's why it's not very clear. To confirm it is a drop base rally. But anyway, 75 minutes and 15 minutes are confirmed. And it is a bullish trade setup. See, from here, the prices maybe in the next trading session, that is on Monday, if prices come here and again reach, probably you can, it may give a trading opportunity from here. Currently it is supporting bullish trade setup in daily income trade. At the time target should be only 15 minute zone. By the time prices reaches here, any 15 minute zone, new 15 minute zone creates. Probably currently this is the target. We have a rally, base, a drop. Okay, anyway, if it comes, while coming, if any new 15 minute zone is created, target will be changed. At the time, if RR is sufficient, you can plan a trade. If RR is not sufficient, you cannot plan a trade. Anyway, these are all the concepts you already learned earlier. But what I am trying to tell you, these combinations based on the zone confluence. All these days, we didn't filter such kind of stocks. But manually you can identify. Because already bullish and bearish trade setups we are generating. If you analyze all the stocks, definitely you identify. You do backtracking. From 15 minutes go to 75. From 75 minutes go to daily. That way you can identify. Backtracking. Generally we do top-down analysis because scanner results are providing. We are doing the reverse engineering. To save our time, we are depending on the scanner. So by doing the reverse engineering, instead of top-down, we are going to bottom to top we are going. Based on the results from the scanner will do analysis top-down only. But to find manually based on the scan results, we do bottom to top to make sure such kind of combinations are available. When we do manual analysis, we do top-down analysis. Because of the top-down analysis, we identify such kind of combinations. But the problem is manual analysis, you can't analyze many stocks. Because computer just analyzed 200 stocks and gave you the results in just 1 second. If at all you are spending any time only for setting the parameters on the screen in the form, there only you are spending our time. Okay, anyway, this is about zone confluence. Hope this information will be, these examples might be helpful to you now. So upcoming next session to be decided, I haven't planned anything yet. So any specific, there are several strategies are there, but which strategy I need to plan for the next session, I am yet to plan. So once it is decided, I will plan. But remember, from now onwards, you may not be getting lessons every week, every weekend. It's all, I need to ensure how you people are following, because from this lesson onwards, every day NeoStock reports, because at present I am providing weekly reports instead of daily. So the weekly reports, whatever I am providing, that is good enough for the entire week. By making use of the bullish and bearish trade setups and also making use of the other combinations, you can analyze and you can find good stocks. At present, at the time of recording, I am providing, but future, I don't know the plans. How long I will continue these providing the, earlier I provided daily support, every day I provided, because I am not finding time, feeling hard to display everyday reports. So at least weekly once I am ensuring, and also I am ensuring those reports are good enough for the entire week. Only thing is, you need to depend on multiple types of reports. You should not depend only on high liquidity zone analysis. High liquidity zone will be high liquidity zone strategy will be useful only for the next day only. So Monday's trading, it will be useful to you. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for all these days, these are trades, which one bullish trade setup for daily income trade or weekly income trade or monthly income trade, those reports will be helpful to you. One of those zones you will be getting trades during the week. Apart from that, weekly detailed reports I am providing, finding the stocks closed inside the zone, finding newly created weekly demand and supply zones. See, once you identify the newly created zones, this strategy will be helpful to you. So weekly zone confluence with daily zone confluence with 75, that way you can track if any such combinations are there in the newly created zone, and during this week or maybe the next week, if the prices come to that zone, probably you get a trade opportunity. That way you have to wait patiently until, patience. With patience you need to wait until the price reaches to that. Apart from that, already generated NeoStock reports will be helpful to you. You have to prepare for all these things. Then only you will be a good trader. If software is giving and you are feeling that my job is very easy and I can easily make money, if you are thinking like that, that is not possible for you every time. See, all these days you guys enjoyed because every day I am providing the reports. Now I am providing weekly once only. So once you adopt it to easy methodology, when you will do hard work, because I cannot do hard work for your people. For every day, you know how many hours I am spending? So many hours. But you people are trying to enjoy by looking into that high liquidity zones, thinking that you can make money. That's not possible. I can't sacrifice my life just like that for you people. Okay, all these days I helped you for the last for the last 9 months. But forever I can't do. You can't expect me to support you forever. I have my life. I should also take care of my family. You have to understand that. You should not be selfish, right? Because sometimes I am getting a feeling that people are more selfish and trying to use me because they are always asking me. But when I should lead my life, people are not understanding. So that is the reason why you have to start doing hard work. You should also experience how to do hard work and earn good money. Don't expect easy money always. Making easy money costs you a lot. That is what you have to understand. Okay, this is a next lesson. Once I plan, we will get into the next strategy. Until then, make use of all these concepts. Okay, let me take a break here. Let us all meet again in the next lesson. Thank you.